Showtime!
It's
One.
absolutely my favorite thing in the whole world. Like pre-show, and then we're trying to figure out how we're gonna just roll into this, and every single time it just happens. It just happens.
I'm pretty terrible. I'm pretty terrible at like starting something and then like I get all nervous about it and then kind of like it goes away. And so I need a countdown for my
Yeah,
countdown, essentially what I'm
countdown
trying
for
to
the
say.
countdown is always great. But yeah, I mean, I've just been like catching up on stuff here and there. But Kaiju number 8 was like a delightful surprise because everyone's been, talking about it. Like, finally, an anime for men, an anime for people who are not teenage boys. And
Oh my god.
it cannot possibly be that, and it's not. He's just an older teenage boy.
He's so lovable
Yeah,
though, man. He
yeah.
has an
Kafka's great.
energy, a charisma.
It's great.
Yeah, he's just and it's refreshing because now that I'm in my 30s and he's like in his 30s and the whole thing is like he kind of not failed, but
It's his
like he
last
just
chance.
his last chance to do what he wants to do in life, and
Yeah.
it's quote unquote. I'm
Last
sorry,
chance. Almost my last chance.
but metamorphosis essentially. Kafka is a piece of literature. If you're not familiar with it, of kind of on that whole turning into something, it's really interesting. But I loved it a lot. What was your first impression about it? Like, was kind of an easy plot, right? Kind of like a take on kaiju that we haven't seen before.
I think it's one of those where it's like I would have understood why we're not spending more time with the monster cleanup crew. I get it. It has a shelf life as far as being interesting,
Yeah.
and incorporating it into how he gets to where he gets to, that is the thing I loved. They really kind of were like, we set the premise up, we didn't forget about it. It's just going to come up like in his skill set, essentially, instead of you seeing his day to day, instead of you seeing exactly what they do. It's, oh yeah, we used to fucking get the scales off this way, and there's a little soft spot underneath that you can just hit, and they just come right off. Or, oh, you got to look out for
Totally.
egg sacs. They're always on the butt, or sometimes they're in a weird spot. And it's like, why would like when you're fighting these monsters on a military level, you're not thinking of the biology. You're thinking must stop and kill, must subdue, and then that's somebody else's problem, right? That's somebody else's problem to dispose of that stuff. Um, it's just super cool. It's a super cool, actually well thought out take on what if we did have to deal with kaiju? What if we did?
Yeah, it doesn't I see the whole economy of it too. It reminded me of a little bit at the beginning, at least when he's working for the cleanup crew.
Yeah.
I was like, I started like Delicious in Dungeon and that whole
Yeah.
the whole premise of that show of like, working around just, monsters and shit. I was like, is this what's gonna be kind of like? And it wasn't, but they just added to his strengths. I really enjoyed it and all the tropey character types and
Yeah.
stuff. Childhood promise, you got it in
Yeah.
there.
There's a childhood
Randy,
promise.
you got it,
You
man.
got the
And,
you got the we're rivals, but we're in love. They got the Kohai in there who absolutely idolizes everything he does because he did a thing that's awesome. You got the tsundere love interest who's I don't give a shit about this nobody, and then just Kafka, where have you been? I wasn't worried or
yeah,
anything or whatever.
of course not.
Yeah.
Save my life or something
It's
like that.
it's
But
it's it's we've reached a point that like the things are so recognizable that they have to be either done like S tier levels of this trope to the max, or you gotta reverse Uno me at some point. You gotta really rug pull me with these character tropes.
Yeah, really an age of like them rehashing stuff we've already kind of we just there's established lore like I finished Go Loser Ranger and that was taking like the Sentai Power Rangers
Yeah.
universe turning on its head, which I love by the way. And Hollywood generally, as of late, would you think the remakes and the reboots are kind of slowing down in that sense,
Yeah, because
or you think they're just speeding up?
they got their eyes on the prize. They know what's popping off right now. They know what the big boom is, and it's a matter of time before the bubble pops entirely, and we both know what it is, and it's them anime adaptations, baby. They want
It's already
they want them
happening.
anime IPs so bad. They're drooling over them. Got multiple things in pre-production, some in production. Like it's gonna
God,
be a
yeah.
mad sprint to see who can really pop off, who can get that.
That level, yeah.
That wasn't what I was gonna say. That's just what ended up coming out.
That described it perfectly. I really appreciated
A
that.
big
We
release.
already it's funny because we're already getting like reboots of like live actions. Like, I mean, we've already had the Death Note
Yeah,
live action. You know how well that did on Netflix, but they're redoing it again.
yeah.
And
Because
what the Duffer Brothers from Stranger Things are doing it.
yeah,
The rumor was.
they have a love for that type of storytelling. So I'm like
Mm.
a little more hopeful now that they're like, "Oops, we put it in the wrong people's hands. Our bad." Teehee. Uh, and now that they've had success with One Piece, with Yu Hakusho, like they're like, okay, well, let's keep the ball rolling. Let's see if we can, fix some past mistakes. I hope they fix their biggest mistake ever one day. One could hope, one could dream. I don't think it deserves a season two, but I would love for them to fix it. It's a horrible thing to do to such a beloved story.
I had this conversation last night, and I think you're talking about the masterpiece of what Cowboy Bebop is. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, I the conversation was essentially like this. It's short already.
yeah,
Why didn't they just do a one-to-one remake? They had to. I don't know. I was really digging it for the most part.
yeah.
And then
There's
they
so much good and that quality drop off.
for sure. In One Piece, I think probably is going to open the door of like tons of live action
Yeah.
adaptations to come forth. I mean, we already had good ones. I don't know if you ever saw like the Rurouni Kenshin live actions. Those weren't really Hollywoodish, but those are really really good movies. Amazing sword play. If you really like martial arts and that type of like kind of style of filming, it's high octane, really great. Actors are really good in it as well. Um, but I mean, Hollywood's doing their thing. We're gonna see how that's gonna roll. But right now, in this moment, we're getting a lot of remakes, reboots, retellings of anime we've already just grew up with. What's your pulse on that? What's your feelings about that? We're in this like kind of different era where like technology's changed, animation's changed, things are super high quality now. Doesn't take as long, but money's always an issue.
Um, I mean, money. They just need to do like a gotcha game before it comes out, and they'll get all the money they need.
Yeah.
Um, no, I think it happens, right? It's like every so many decades, you're gonna start seeing a lot of remakes, retellings, reboots. Uh, you're just gonna see it. It's just gonna happen, and there's a big push for that because a lot of these stories that like not just us, like younger us enjoyed, like people who were our age during that time were like, man, this would be so much better if it had that Studio Ghibli budget,
Mm.
staff. It would be so much better if they had access to that. And it's like, yeah, I mean, one of those things you said is right because budget is just a word we fling about when we're talking about anime. Um, but yeah, it's like we have those people who were, our ages in late 20s, early 30s, and now they're in the industry, right? They're in the industry proper. They paid their dues. They're directors now. They're producers. They're the staffing agents. They're background artists. Like they're in productions like frequently. They've been here, and now they're getting a chance to give love to those stories that they loved growing up. That they feel like, well, this deserved a much better treatment. I mean, just like some of the ones that have come out in the last year
Oh
of
my god,
like adaptations of light novels, like Freerun came out of nowhere, like,
blew up.
and was just like the most memed, talked about anime of like this year, period. Everyone's talked a lot about a lot of anime, but I still see memes of Freerun, and that shit has been over for a minute.
For a minute, yeah. And it's kind of the first time, maybe like I think in a big volume way, that we're just seeing a lot of remakes all at once. Anime really hasn't had that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but like, there's been remakes of certain things, but like never at the volume we're getting it now.
Oh
Where
yeah,
like, like everything's being rebooted or remade or resold in some kind of way, and it's interesting. At first, I was kind of apprehensive about it because what Hollywood did, and we know how like how
yeah,
shitty that can
yeah.
be. But for the most part, from what I've seen, it's been pretty positive. When did you think? Like a lot of the remakes they've been doing,
I think
not all of them.
yeah, I think the reception has been good is because some people have been salivating for a chance to see their story done justice or fixed or finally, adapted properly. All sorts of reasons, but I think the big reason why everyone, especially now, is so excited is like you have a multi-generational viewership now where kids who are like the barrier to entry is I have to watch this old shitty animation or this horribly voice acted or horribly sound mixed or whatever reason they feel it's unwatchable.
I don't
um
know about that, but yeah.
they are that reason's gone because now it's crisp, it's new, the animation good, the voice actors there doing their thing. Like I think I want to hear from you because just like a general feeling about those sort of like remakes that have, especially in the last couple of years, we've gotten a lot of remakes. Like what is your like what has like your experience been like actually viewing the remakes? Because like everybody has their gut reaction when they hear it, right? Everyone's like, "Ooh, that could be bad," or "Ooh, I'm really excited for that," and that kind of fluctuates as you hear more or less about the production and then finally see it. But like I'm talking about like after the couple of years we've had, like how are you actually feeling about the possibilities of more remakes?
I'm feeling very good about it. Just as a reaction. Well, initially, at first, I was actually gut reaction was, "Oh no, I don't want this. This is no, we don't need this." Don't touch my beautiful art. Can't be tarnished.
Yeah,
Type of mentality. I don't want my baby to get ruined. That's the first thought goes in your head. But they've, at least the people in Japan, they've for the most part handled a lot of the remakes with so much care and love. Not all of them. I'll get to that later. Not all of them, but like at first, it's like, oh, this is gonna be a quick cash grab. Of course, there's a cash grab. They want to make more money. That's great. But like, there's some stuff. Animation is had this evolution. I mean, coming from the '70s to now, that I think some stuff in the '90s could really, really benefit from just a more cohesive, modern animation way of storytelling that they just couldn't do back then, for budget reasons or, whatever the case is, cell shading. They had some that shit had to be, hand drawn. Like it was difficult to do. Now it's just came more streamlined. I think overall, generally, a really positive experience with it, and I'm surprised how much I'm enjoying it, opposed to my first gut reaction. And I haven't had really bad experience with these like anime reboots or remakes, for the most part, and I kind of like that this newer generation is able to, because content, there's so much content now, right? And to
Many
see on every kind of platform, but
content.
anime particularly, these older titles just had some of the thousands, hundreds of episodes of filler or whatever the case. They don't have to do that anymore. It could be seasonal and streamlined, modern, straight to like a faithful manga adaptation, and I'm for that, long as they're still true to the material and to the fan, really, first and foremost. I mean, Fruits Basket did amazing when they remade that. And that looked absolutely drop dead gorgeous. And they're even making stuff that is like super old, like Devilman Crybaby. That's old. That's really, really, really old. And that looked amazing, and I thought that was pretty well done as well. What's some of the remakes you've possibly seen that you've just been kind of maybe wowed by or not wowed at all?
Before I answer that question, I do just a quick little follow up to what you were saying
Yeah.
is I think especially with the ones you've mentioned, like the disparity between like the ones that I've enjoyed and the ones that I've just kind of been like, whatever, um, is because of that quality gap. Like even if it's a faithful adaptation, like rebooting the series, I'm looking at you, Shaman King.
Oh boy.
I'm looking right at you, Shaman King. Faithful to the manga, all the beats are there. It's not watered down, but there's just the thing in the first adaptation. There's a thing. There's a something in the way that it's animated. It's just not there. it's
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
scenes later in I think beginning of season 2 where it finally ramps up, but that first season it just feels flat. It feels like they're just panel for panel adapting, trying to get the big shots in there, and there's just not a lot of uh
Kind of soulless a little bit.
yeah, there's not there the
Yeah.
creativity's there, but there's just something like missing from that fluidity, right? Like they took some
I know
they
exactly what you're
took some
saying.
chances in that first anime with trying to make it sort of like Monster of the Week esque. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And with that, you get some really iconic sort of like Amita Maru, get into the fucking sword, baby, get in there, and that shit is hype. And he just, I think my little kid brain loved that because it's formulaic. Whereas when you're doing a faithful remake, you really are trying to elevate, right? You're really trying to elevate beyond that and then also stick true to the source material. Like be even as close as you can. And I feel like we're far enough into this like discussion. We have to talk about it. It's Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Like it's the
Yep.
gold standard.
Yeah.
It's the gold standard for a
Yeah.
reason. Like they took everything that was great about that first adaptation by Bones, and then Bones came back and said, "Oh, we're gonna do it again."
We liked it so much, we'll have
Yeah, we
seconds.
would like
Um,
another serving, please. And like,
yeah.
I that's kind of like what I'm. My answer is that I'm always open to see like what they're gonna do different. Like when I heard Fruits Basket was getting done, and you see that first PV, I was like, "This is gorgeous. This is I was I'm gonna
Really
cry
pretty.
so much more because they're animated well," and I was right. And versus like that amount of hype for your Shaman King, for your Bastard, which the fights and
Oh
everything look
boy,
great. It looks so
they look
great.
amazing.
It's so great.
It's
But
over the top.
right, but it was the stuff in between that's lacking the polish, right? It's not the it's we're getting the remake, we're getting the updated visuals and colors and special effects and sound design, blah 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 blah. But there's you have to include the soul that was in the original adaptation, and you got to bring that forward. And I think that's what differentiates like the reboots and the remakes from just like you said a cash grab.
Everything's kind of lacking a little bit. There's been a lot of complaints, kind of the parrot on that. Roni Kenshin, they remade that, and even though the animation looks really dope, just something about that voice acting is just not the same. Very kind of like, I don't know, phoned in, if you will.
Yeah,
And
well,
there's so many wheels
yeah.
of like remaking something and making it faithful. It's pretty difficult.
I mean,
So
of all the things to remake, I just wish they would have let it just leave it,
just leave it
just
be.
leave it be.
If it's
Um,
not going to be amazing, don't do it. Yeah.
I think if I could separate myself from that story even more, that would be great because I just don't want to talk about it anymore. Like it just hurts so much to even think slash talk about it. But it's again, that sort of stuff feels phoned in because the connections we had with that story, with that anime, in the time between it finished airing to now to the reboot have been fully sullied. So of course, I think even the voice actors are like, well, I'm a Seiyu and this is my role. Like they're of course they're gonna bring me back for it. So then you're like, I also have a family to feed, so here I go.
Why not?
I'm
Yeah.
gonna do
Let's
the
do it.
thing. So it's
Already
just
Kenshin Electric Boogaloo.
yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like you get that, and then versus like a Sailor Moon Crystal.
Oh,
That's just like oh they were happy to be back. Both the dub and the sub,
you can hear it.
they
I
were happy to
I
be back in those roles. And some of them were happy to get those roles. Like it's just
Passion's still there,
yeah,
and all friends all kind of working
and
together.
I swear every time that is the big division of like what are we going to be talking about versus what are we going to talk about, right?
Yes.
Cuz I I I know we're kind of like jumping around and talking about all these different remakes and reboots, but I mean, you already know how hyped I was when Trigun came back.
Oh my god, yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
when I that see, I feel like for me of this last decade is the gold standard for remakes. I think Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is like the gold standard for a full start to finish faithful adaptation. It's a remake of something that didn't quite finish well. I think Trigun Stampede is like the new gold standard of well, we're gonna remake it. No, no, no. We're gonna reboot it and then but then all of the bones of the characters and the storylines and the everything's still there. It's just they're like, but I miss the spaghetti western. I miss when he was cool guy, but also a goof.
Yeah.
But it does still toe those lines, just in a different. It's a more, sci-fi setting. It's more akin to like Firefly than it is to a fucking Clint Eastwood movie. You know what I mean? Like the Western vibes are there, but since they're focusing more on the big setting that this world is in, by the way.
Big big picture, big picture
Yeah,
storytelling there in a way they didn't do before is more of like a episode to episode kind of
yeah,
deal, goofy dude. Yeah, I mean, and you're always gonna get people torn.
yeah,
You're gonna have people that love the original, but don't love the new stuff. I think you're always gonna get that. I think it's just finding kind of like a good medium for that type of person, but also I respect them trying something different at
yes.
least, and I thought it was successful. I thought it was fantastic. I loved it. I loved Vash's new look.
Oh
I
yeah.
love knives. Oh my god, they fucking killed it, man.
Yeah, the fact that they were able to change his look so drastically and then still it have like this eccentric like you're supposed to be laying low and you're the loudest motherfucker in the bar. Like like Vash is just not worried. Um
Eating donuts,
yeah, he's just
yelling love and peace.
yeah, he's just I loved that. And I love those type of choices when it comes to something that it would be a risk to do a Western. I'm not going to lie. It'd be a huge risk to get, this generation interested in a, space spaghetti Western at that pace, right? At the pace that
Hmm.
they went. Um, so it was a great choice. Episode 1, that opening sequence lives rent free in my mind because I was like, um, all of this isn't until later. Why is it at the front? Like immediately they were like, no, 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 it's different. Like from the get go. And I think that become my baseline for a good remake is like, what what is the expectation? Unless you're Berserk
How you?
2016.
Oh, stop it! Stop it! Oh my god. Um, that's you know, Berserk is like the Batman of the anime universe.
Yeah,
They know his broody, amazing, dark storyline is great, but how do we do it justice and how do we bring it back in a new, exciting way? And the 2016 Berserk was a failure beyond that. That's literally the worst, probably reboot I've ever seen. Is part experimental. It didn't work with the art style. I feel like all those things that we were mentioning before didn't line up.
yeah.
And it's a shame because I think Berserk now with all your Castlevanias and
Your
your
Devilman crybabies,
Devilman Crybabies and your what's that Netflix one?
Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk and the samurai one,
Oh, Blue Eye Samurai. Oh,
Blue Eyed
oh.
Samurais, and all these great, like really gritty. I don't know, just these gritty, bloody, just
I mean, the biggest hurdle, right? The hugest hurdle for a Berserk adaptation is because that man and his art
yeah,
style is so expressive and detailed and moving while being a still panel, and that's scary. Like, imagine somebody's like, "This is your keyframe. Get us to here," and it's like, "How? How do I get us to
literal,
this? This? How do I get? How do I get us here? How do I get here?"
literally nightmare fuel for
Yeah.
the
Think
artist
about the
and for
background
the
artist. Think about the background artist, like looking at that and going, How did he do that?
how do you do this? And how do I make this move?
How do
How
I
do I
make
get
it
this
move?
animated? Jesus Christ. I mean, with that being said, props to the 97
Oh
Berserk
yeah.
team. Holy shit.
They they
Right?
they
What they
they
did back
swung.
then.
They did their
And
best. They fucking swung. And I
they really did. And the soundtrack fucking
Yes.
slapped,
And they
you
and
know?
that's the kind of thing, right? Some adaptations, some reboots and remakes, you have to swing so hard even if you know it's a like guaranteed miss. You still have to put your whole ass into it. And you can tell with that 2016 Berserk adaptation, they fucking they bailed out like halfway cuz the
Man,
first few episodes weren't awful. They weren't the worst I've ever seen, but like episode 3 was like, what are you guys doing? What are we doing here?
yeah.
What are we
I mean,
doing?
the close-ups on the
Oh
face,
my
the,
god.
like, not
I could
even
puke.
moving
I could
around,
puke talking about it. Let's not.
it was bad. Yeah,
Ugh,
yeah, yeah.
it's
It
so bad.
just that is in terms of stuffs that I think deserves to be remade, like, the most, I think Berserk deserves a faithful
Oh,
adaptation. It's just what studio other than
don't say it.
I don't
Don't
know.
do it.
Yeah,
Keep it out of your
I
mouth.
won't say
They have
they
too
got
many.
enough on their
They have
plate.
too
They
many.
have too many. They have too many. What ambitious studio who would like to take this giant nightmare fueled, OG of seinen,
You know what? You know
into
my
their
wish
hands?
is? You know my wish is? My wish is that it gets the same treatment that Mushoku Tensei gets.
Oh man,
Do you know how amazing it would be that they would just make a studio for the Berserk anime? That would be great. Steal
it's
talent from everywhere. Get get
it's
get
my dream.
get it, outsource it, make the thing happen. And I
That's my
know,
one piece. Yeah.
oh man, I know I just said it, but it would just be so great if everything lined up. I know it's I know it's a fever dream, but if everything, like if they get the One Punch Man level of adaptation, like it would just be so good. Like it would be so good. And we keep dreaming.
I was very optimistic about anime remakes when we started this podcast. Now I'm not so sure. Oh my god! I mean, there's been a lot of good. Yeah,
Yeah.
we've mentioned a lot of good stuff. Is there anything that they haven't like remade that you think is maybe deserving, if not, you know, sorely needed in
My
this day and age?
my incredibly left field one that I'm sure nobody actually wants because it hasn't even ended. It's still going on forever. Detective Conan.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That'd be great. I would love to
That's
see,
another
yeah.
long one.
I would love to see that, maybe condensed a bit. Maybe maybe some of the earlier episodes get some better pacing or some
For some context, listeners, he's talking about an anime called, well, anime manga, called Case Closed. It was, it's also known as Detective Conan. It's a long running Japanese detective manga series that's been going on forever. So it's another one of those like, holy shit, who has the balls to
yeah,
take that on and do all that?
yeah,
Because it's been just going forever. I would love to see that. That's a really nice pool.
yeah. I
That'd be
I
fantastic.
just remember like middle school me, high school me, fucking yo, Case Close is coming on after what was it? Fucking right before Inuyasha comes on. Hell yeah, I'm watching that shit.
Where do you think it'd do good now? Like, where do you think would draw in the most audience? Think it'd like be like a Disney type of deal?
I think that's an easy Disney grab just because it can be very graphic and it's like what's the word? The word is escaping me for me. It's the thing, it's the not the genre, but just kind of like the subject matter that sometimes they have to cover, like,
Mm,
drug abuse,
it's kind of dark.
murder,
Yeah,
extortion, like all the sorts of things that he kind of does deal with while solving these cases. I feel like that'd be kind of, but it's still kind of like in that PG-13 realm. So I think that'd be like a quick, easy Disney grab, guaranteed money type of thing they would do.
100%. And the
Um,
advertising gig would be
oh yeah,
huge,
yeah.
for it. I think it'd work because it's beloved,
But here's the thing.
a lot overseas.
Here's the thing. Here's my question to you.
Okay.
Do you think it would be a live action reboot?
Ooh, um,
Because you know how they like their money and you know how they like
bro,
to make a spectacle of stuff these days. Um, it's just one of those things where it's like
that's a hard one.
the remakes and reboots. Now we have to ask the question of like, which direction are they going to do another faithful anime adaptation, or are we creeping into that territory of, oh, it's getting remade, and then you see live action adaptation, and it's like, maybe I watch it. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah,
It's a hard
yeah,
maybe.
yeah,
And they'd have to sell me because I mean, God, if you would have told me even a year ago, like, but 2 years ago, the live action One Piece was going to be successful, I would have spit in your eye. I said, no fucking way. And, it's just, and it doesn't go too, it's not too like left field for them. It's very grounded
yeah.
for them to basically do that. I think it'd do well. Maybe not animation, but I think 3D. I think it'd work well with like Pixar level,
Oh yeah, like
or a DreamWorks
that
level.
Lupin the Third movie.
Yeah, something like that. I think it really, home run for that
Yeah,
kind of style.
it's
Maybe not a full live action.
yeah, like something that's different enough. And again,
Mm,
I feel like we keep coming back to it. Like these adaptations have to do something to stand out now. They can't just be a faithful one-to-one remake, reboot. Like there has to be a pull now. There has to be something to get eyes on it. Um,
Here we go. Here we go. I got the thought. So we could do a live action, right? Okay. But here's an idea. Tell me what you think. Just a gut reaction. You know how Doctor Who has been going on for like literally ever,
go on,
and they just get a new doctor
go on,
like after whatever,
go
whatever,
on.
whatever. What if they did that for Detective Conan and they just get like a new kid like every year?
He just, oh no, I've taken another strange pill, and I've changed
Yeah,
ever so
yeah.
slightly.
Then I could see it maybe work. You
That
know, I don't know.
that would be hilarious. That would be
Yeah.
such a good gag to be like, I'm finally gonna turn into an adult again. Takes the antidote. Oh no, I'm a younger kid and I look slightly different. Oh
Mm.
no.
Oh man. Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, that could
that
be good,
sounds
man.
actually wild, and I'm kind of interested. Somebody out there, do the work. Give me
Dude,
give give me a rough draft. People out there, get to the streets. Get over there.
give me a
Yeah,
screenplay. The first like 100 episodes.
100 episodes. Do it.
Yeah.
Damn, that's good. That's good. But I mean, we would be remiss if we didn't talk about it because it is very, it's topical right now. It's my first harem, my first love. Uh,
Oh,
the Bi Awakening. For many of us out there, Ramen and a Half is getting a
oh,
remake.
yes.
Uh,
God,
and it's
yes.
by the goats,
My
Mappa,
first anime.
and yeah, I don't know, man. They're
Did you expect this one?
not even a little. It was I
Like,
I had heard that there was another Rumiko Sensei anime like that was gonna get remade, and in my head I was like, oh, it's Inuyasha because they're doing Yashahime, and that's
yeah,
for some
they
reason,
already did
yeah,
the remake of Urusei
yeah.
Yatsura. They did
So
that.
they were like, there's another
So,
one, and I was like, oh, it could be an Inuyasha reboot. I would be fine with that. Just update the animation. I was wrong. I've never been so happy to be wrong. Never been so
it
fucking
looks
happy. It
phenomenal.
looks so good
Yeah.
because
It looks so crisp, so clean.
the thing is like what you said looks so crisp, so clean, but those fucking late 80s, early 90s martial arts fight scenes are intact, baby. They look so clean. They just
They
they
look
just
really clean.
literally updated it so that they're not just little speed lines. You can actually see the fists moving. Like there's a polish on this trailer that I'm scared may not be throughout the whole thing because we know what they do to their people.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. I'm very excited. It was one of the
I'm
first
also
Tankobon volumes I ever got, and my mom got
Oh
it
wow.
for me, and there were so many illustrated boobies in it, and that is a
Uh,
core memory because that was just the gateway. I ended up being so invested in this fucking dumbass rom-com martial arts. I was just so invested, bro. I would spend hours trying to find next volumes when we were at bookstores. Like somebody has to have the next volume. It has to be out there.
I'm I'm really excited for it, but I'm also a little bit scared for it to come out as well. Just because of the subject of what like it is about, right? And it's very much American, and how like the current audience and people will kind of treat it. I think they'll treat a lot of love, but at the same time, hopefully it doesn't get too political. That's all I can ever like hope for. Hopefully it doesn't like get, just see what the love is about in the anime and just run with it.
I think they have no hope. I think even if they try to make it political, they have no hope because
Yeah, yeah,
ultimately the people who love Ranma in that story, they love Ranma. Not because
yeah,
Ranma is boy or Ranma is girl, because Ranma is
yeah.
Ranma. And it's like that is the message that kind of made my brain go, wait, wait, hold on. You're telling me you just love a person for who they are and not their
No
and not
way.
their genitals?
Oh,
Impossible.
what?
Impossible. Because like I said, the gateway for young boys, who stumble across this is like, ooh, there's boobies in here. Ooh. But then there's what is it, Ryuga or Ryugi, and just the proto Zoro, as I like to call him, where
Essentially, yeah.
he's
Yeah, it's a
just
good way
like
of
this
putting it, actually.
stone cold, like, I'm gonna get my revenge on Ranma. I'm gonna do this. And then the moment he has to find his way anywhere, lost. Can't go anywhere. Worst sense of direction ever. But he's
I
formidable.
love it.
Like, he's formidable. And he ends up being this really fun, like, love rival character. And then later we get Shampoo. Like, it's
Oh,
just
shampoo.
it's
I
just
forgot about
so
shampoo.
good.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just so good.
so good.
She knows how to do the thing with the rom-com. She's the master. I love her. So good.
Yeah.
Uh
I mean,
People are gonna love
Inuyasha,
it.
biggest
Yeah.
shonen rom-com
Yeah.
ever made,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
um,
And in my opinion, this is better.
yeah,
Full stop.
yeah,
I don't need no
yeah.
Shikan
Is it
Jewel. I don't need no history isekai. Just give me some weird
what?
ass
Okay,
hot springs. You do whatever you want.
that's controversial. I don't know about that. I'm a big fan of Inuyasha. But God, what would I like to see remade? I made a list of stuff and I kind of rewatched a couple like first episodes to get kind of like a pulse and a vibe of like
Hmm.
what was it like back in the 90s. And we're talking about like, harem,
Hmm.
I want to go in there. Another first for me was OVAs were a thing back then. And
What's an
do you
OVA?
remember?
What's
You
is that an
remember
OVA? What's an OVA?
Ova? Do you remember Oh My Goddess?
Yeah, I do actually.
Yeah, with Bell Dandy and all those angels and Kaiichi.
Hey,
Um,
Ryan, I have
yep.
specific memories of you saying Bell Dandy. So yeah, I have memories of Oh My Goddess.
Oh my god. Okay. All right. I don't know. I went that deep in your memory. That's nice. Yeah, I think this would. It's a bit aged. It's a bit aged. I think it's the corn level. The corny level is probably a 10 on it. But there's a lot of heart, a lot of soul, and a lot of love in it, literally and figuratively. And surprisingly, animation was very good back then. But just the music and everything, it's just I think it could be a very successful, like redone, re-envisioned anime that they could do that I think would work really well. If they did it right. Anything else for you?
I mean, we're gonna go harem for harem, so you already know what I'm about to swing with. You can just say it for me.
No, no, no. Go for it. I don't know. I don't mind read.
Hey, Tenchi Muyo, all right,
Oh my
the
god.
absolute
Another
goat,
didn't they
the goat.
remake that like twice though?
No, those were just other interpretation. Yeah,
Discontinuations?
there's just other, like,
Okay.
Tenchi Muyo is what I like to call the first harem multiverse. So
Oh no. Yeah,
yeah,
you're right.
so but that led to them kind of just taking those lovable cast of characters and like, well, what if they were just people in Tokyo? And I was like, I don't know if I like that, but go ahead, try to
I'll
cook,
go with it.
I guess.
I I liked it. Okay. I liked Tenchi in Tokyo. Thank you very much.
See,
Um
but that's what I'm saying.
dude.
Like, the characters have such a nice dynamic as an actual harem, by the way. All you other
Mm,
pretenders out there, you think you're a harem? You're not even close to Tenchi, all right? Mishoku
oh
Tensei,
my god.
you are a baby in comparison, all right?
This man's spitting.
Uh but no, I just really loved, I absolutely adored Tenchi as like the penultimate nice guy. Like, absolute Chad of a nice guy. And I think we don't get a lot of protagonists in general that are that so like virtued of like, I have made a commitment to a thing, so I'm going to see it through even if it's terrifying to me. Like, homie going from farm boy to what he goes to is ridiculous. I don't really, that doesn't have any weight on me, but it's the fact that like, but it's the fact that you see that like, once he kind of commits to these people that he meets and the effect it has on them, and then you get a lot of just cozy vibes in between too. I think that was my favorite part, was it was like big, epic, holy shit, all this happened, and you see them just making breakfast like an episode later and just arguing over
On a
dumb
farm.
shit and just farming
Yeah.
and just, and I think that's such a fun like thing that you don't really see a lot of these days of like
No,
there's a
you
big
really
set
don't.
piece, right? There's a big thing and then you see the aftermath and like them trying to raise money to fix the thing they fucking blew up and so and so has to go in front of a council because they've been running for a while, so now they gotta, they may have just helped out with this thing but they also did 100 crimes before that, so
Ah, you're selling me, man. Yeah, we need more of that
yeah.
shit. Yeah, I think I think it'd do well. Yeah, I think it'd do well.
And man, them girls,
w-
woo, best girls, all of them,
oh
every single
yeah,
one.
God, yeah, for sure, absolutely. I mean, Ryoko,
Yeah.
first anime crush, for sure. She was great. I mean, even back then, animation was still really good. I'm trying to think back on it.
Oh
It
yeah.
wasn't that bad. I
Yeah, because they were
used to
all
watch that
they were.
movie over and over.
And that's, I only brought it up because you brought up OVAs, and like Tenchi
Yeah,
Muyo was originally just
OVAs.
OVAs, so
Yeah,
the
that's
animation
right,
quality was
man.
insane when it came out. I was like, "Whoa, this is crazy for like 30-40 minutes of something." It's because they were like, "We're only doing this 30-40 minutes of something." um,
Who animated Tenchi
Oh, I
Muyo?
have
Do you
no
know?
idea. I remember going
Yeah,
looking for studio stuff, but because it was an OVA, I think it's a studio that was like made for the project, and then they just kind of.
I remember Pioneer. Do you remember
Oh
Pioneer?
yeah,
That name comes to mind whenever I think of Tenchi. I don't know why, but
maybe it's the thing. I mean, in all honesty, could have done like 5 seconds of research to find out, but I just love it so much that
yeah,
it's one of those things where it's like, I don't mind if another studio picks it up because the bones are there.
strong bones.
It's got strong bones.
Um, a couple
Speaking,
rapid fire
yeah,
ones
go go.
for me. Fushiyugi.
Mhm.
I don't know if you know, if you're familiar with that. Revolutionary Girl Tina. I think would be really solid. Slayers. I think would do pretty well now. Um, go ahead.
I just remembered one. We didn't talk about
Yep.
one that is actually confirmed, and it's Magical Girls, Ray Earth.
Oh,
That's
I
actually
don't know what that is.
that's getting a remake. We'll talk about that after our show, but it's
All right.
it's worth mentioning in the actual podcast. It's one of the ones that's actually get like we'll talk about it later. It's good. It's good. It's good.
It's
Sorry, I
good. Good.
just
Good.
you
Confirmed though.
you
Confirmed.
said Revolutionary Girl Tina, and that my brain, because art styles are very similar. Brain,
Very similar. Very
yeah,
stylized.
yeah,
Very beautiful. My God,
yeah.
the gorgeous, gorgeous. One I think that would have to be. I would probably up there on my top three list. I'd love to see remade. That I think deserves remade, but also they would have to do it differently because I think Serial Experiments Lane would do really, 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 really well in this day and age. Because we're talking about OVAs, that was also just very experimental, like animation, 3D stuff. They're going on the technology. Then it's dated. We have to do something more modern and to the time. I think they do very well in this day and
Yeah.
age for
Yeah.
sure.
I think because of the messages in that story ring so true, especially today, that's really all it would need. It would just need a facelift. It would just need you know, the tweaks to really kind of like showcase how the concept of social media that they had in there,
Yeah.
how that has evolved into what it is. So
God,
it'd be great.
they could use some scary shit
It would be
for sure.
it'd be terrifying. And on the opposite side of that, of not terrifying, um, my couple are. I'll start with the one I feel is like the furthest away that would never happen. That's Zoids. I'd love to see.
Oh
I would
my
love to see some
god.
fresh Zoids. Look, it doesn't even have to be a remake. They could reboot like the whole thing. Give me
I'm down.
that war arc, that beginning stuff. I would love to see the war arc redone. That
I mean, a lot, man.
so
I
good,
mean, I would
so good.
I'd cream
It'd be
my
fun.
jeans if they did that. There's a lot of just Gundam stuff.
Oh yeah,
I would like to see remade. I mean, like Wing
Yeah.
you
I
know, is
know. I
my
know. I
baby.
know.
And even though the animation for like the people is really good, you know, that reused that reused heavy arms shot, you know what I mean? Exactly, exactly. You know, whenever they do their special attack come out, you know, the same fucking attack they've been using literally the whole series. It's like, okay, we need to get some more shots of this fucking move here. I think
He's
that
gonna
would
do
be
it again. The what? The charged particle cannon. He's gonna do it
oh
again.
my god.
Buster Cannon.
Jesus. Yeah, I would love
um
to see that remade,
yeah. I would love to see that remade.
but probably wouldn't.
Um I think this has a higher probability. That's the Zatch Bell.
Oh, okay.
I've
Yeah.
I've heard some things. They're actually in like a time skip arc right now. After
What?
after it not being in serial for a while, so they came back and
Yeah, I thought that stopped being
yeah,
okay.
so
All
it
right.
came back recently.
What the fuck?
I've been seeing like
Back from the dead,
I
baby.
know I've been seeing like volume covers, and I'm like, yo, this I have so many questions. I have to read it. Um, and then I think one that's probable but not like necessary is Outlaw Star. That's my
Oh,
that's
I that's my first thought too. I wanted to keep, I was
yeah,
hoping you're going to
yeah.
mention it, and it looks so good though. Still,
Yeah,
you
but
know.
think about how much better it could look. Think about them caster shell
Yeah.
shots, baby.
Yeah.
Give me that
God damn it.
Sakuga on the caster shell shots.
You
Woohoo!
selling me? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
I mean, I think it'd
the ship
be
designs,
good.
ship designs.
Jeez.
That
Wh-
that would be so much fun to see like modernized. Like everyone's always, hit or miss with 3D. I get it. But give me honestly, if we got Studio Orange to do that too, to do Outlaw Star,
Honestly, that same kind of vibe.
yeah.
I would be down 100% down the clown with that.
Like they get done with
Um,
Trigun and they pick up Outlaw Star, yeah. But I don't
Another
think that's
solid
gonna
pull,
happen.
man. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
yeah, it it wasn't that popular,
But it is good.
unfortunately.
But it is
Yeah,
good.
it is good though. I love the music in it. It was dope. And of course, the one we could talk about for hours. You know, we're both huge One Piece fans, but the announcement of the Netflix adaptation, a remake
Yeah.
for
The
The One Piece for a modern era. Oda said, "How? I mean, it's still going on, and you know what I mean. It's still being aired right now through Toei.
yeah.
How do we feel about that? You know, Wit Studio, amazing. Same studio brought you, um, freaking Spy
Yeah.
Family, and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Literally, a team formed. Just we're talking about
Yeah.
studios being
See
formed
how
for
I
one
set up?
purpose.
See
This
how I
is
set up this conversation? See
oh
how I did
smooth,
it?
baby. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's exactly that,
How
right?
you?
It's the fear of, okay, what are they gonna do? What are they gonna take out? Goemon, are you getting taken out again, baby? Is my chess
I
man,
don't
is
know.
he out of the story completely now? Um I I think a lot of that is going to happen. I think it's going to be akin to the Netflix live action adaptation where they're going to streamline it. They're going to get us through East Blue quicker, more efficiently.
1 to
Um
1, you think manga adaptation?
I think it's going to hit those big panels. Yeah. I think it's going to hit that first Gum Gum Bazooka, you know what I mean? Like I think we're going to get the goofiness, but it's going to we're going to see some perspective changes. We're going to see some additions. I guarantee you, because of how successful it was in the adaptation, we're going to get more marine content front loaded. Like,
Yeah.
he's going to set up the things that he finally got to execute in this adaptation so that people jumping into One Piece who want to catch up as fast as possible because we're heading to Lodestar, baby. Like we're an island away. Like we're about to go to Elbaf.
Yeah.
We're about to be at
We're in
Lodestar,
Endgame.
and the big war is gonna happen. So he's trying to get as many eyes on his story for that final arc as possible. And I think this is gonna
S-
be that. big, huge, what do they call them? The vacuum tubes and egghead. The vacuum head. This is going to be straight to Reverse Mountain, so you can get to the Grand Line.
Man, I have a lot of feelings about it.
Tell me your
You know,
feelings. Air your feelings out.
one, I'll give you a little tidbit. One Piece was the most watched show in 2023. Um, out of like all media outlets, it was the most consumed media out of all the shows ever made. Is literally the most consumed out of everything. Probably because not only because of Gear 5 was happening that same year, but that live action, I think, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, guys. I think they said it stayed like number one for like 16 weeks on Netflix or something like that. Or just like the
Yeah.
viewership was so high for like 16 weeks and the response was overwhelmingly, they weren't expecting it. And that show's expensive. We know that. But like how successful it was, I don't think that's what prompted them to remake it. Because we all know I love the Toei stuff. I do. I grew up with it. It's fantastic. We all know the one thing that it suffered from because of it being literally a weekly shonen anime and they're not taken off the shelves for any reason because it makes too much money. That's because the pacing. The pacing is really bad, and just so bad to the point that you could probably eliminate maybe half those episodes and just do a chapter to chapter, do 2 or 3 chapters an episode easily, without any of that pacing issues. What are your feelings about the pacing stuff? I mean, literally, there's been a, One Pace, or what was it called?
Yeah.
The fucking, what is it called?
No, it's called One Pace.
Is it One Pace?
It's One
Yeah,
Pace, and I mean, we're skirting around the word. That's why you're here. It's filler. It
filler.
was
You're right.
brought down by filler, and that word has taken a different meaning. Especially in the current anime climate, seasonal anime watchers don't understand what the word filler truly means until they've
They don't have
watched
it.
One Piece. And I think that's an amazing thing that One Piece actually does is like, no, no, no. You thought this extra minute of stuff that isn't in the manga is filler? No, no, no. Sweet baby boy, sit down. Let me show you G4. This is filler. It's great. I loved G4. I think it's hilarious. You get the
Oh, that was
you
great.
get one of my favorite comedy gags of Luffy walking behind a marine.
Oh man, that's so good. And
Just
literally
being
just piecing into the screen like very very fourth wall breaking.
it's
It was
so
great.
great. It's so great. And
They,
you get some anime content that you wouldn't get from the manga. That in my opinion is peak filler. That it I
yeah,
got enjoyment out of it and it gave them time to adapt things at a pace that would be good, but they didn't consistently do that.
yeah.
And that's like the big thing is like filler, pacing, scheduling, uh
I'm looking at you, Dressrosa. I'm looking at you, like looking at you
the
hard.
absolute worst example of filler. Just what was that the tournament arc that was not as long in the manga.
Oh, you know what? Look, none of the fights are very long in One Piece. By the way, guys, they're very actually most of them are, except for some of the big ones, they're usually pretty quick. Um, yeah, man. I don't know.
it
God,
and I
God,
think
that tournament arc
but
took forever.
that's what I'm saying. Like you think about that stuff. So early One Piece isn't as bad as that, but they were just starting. They weren't trying to catch up to
Yeah,
with the source material. They weren't trying to run into the issues they've had with other, anime like uh Naruto. They had I mean, God, Bleach is probably the worst example of pacing and filler. Um, but I mean, out of the big three, like One Piece at least kind of kept the same pace, even though it wasn't a great pace. Um, it's just one of those things where it's like I really think it does need it. It needs that kind of like smooth, you know,
streamlined.
yeah, to
Yeah,
to get to get the people who are interested in it, especially if they don't want to, commit an hour's worth of viewing just to get through. you know, some material, because that's the barrier to entry with the live action is like you got to have time to sit down and really commit to an episode.
I'm excited for it. I really am. I also feel very bad for the current Toei team because they've expressed their grievances publicly already.
Yeah.
Like, why am I working on the show then if you're going to remake what we're doing, And lately, I mean, honestly, everything New Egg has been banger, 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 banger. Like animation pacing hasn't been bad at all. I think it's been high level, high quality stuff that I would give any seasonal anime, a run for its money or better. But my biggest fear for it is not so much the animation or even the pacing. It's those iconic crew, those voices that we've been, you know, all those Seiyu. I mean, Luffy particularly. Um, some of them are getting up there now,
Yeah.
and do they have it in them? Because she already said Megumi, or I forget her full name. Forgive me, but like she said, when she's done with One Piece, she retires. Does that mean when she's done with Toei, or does this mean she's done with the One Piece? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And some of those guys are older than her. She's in her 60s. I think the Frankie voice actor is getting up there now, and some of the rest of them are all kind of like relatively younger, 40s, 50s type of deal. I think they're all actually 50s. But like, are you gonna subject them to like another 300 episodes of like voice acting? And will it still sound and feel as special as what we do? I mean, because I mean, they're just an ensemble that can't be rivaled in the anime world. Like their chemistry is unmatched. Like you're not going to get a better chemistry of that in anime. What are your feelings about that? Because that's what I'm probably most worried about. Just those voices are so iconic. You know what they sound like.
Hmm.
Zoro, you're never going to forget. I mean, Luffy's hard to do generally, and having a 60-year-old woman be convincing, being this like teenage boy with this like unique sound to him, just I don't know, it's something special.
I I think there will be that barrier. There's always going to be that barrier. But if, I mean, it's weird having to bring this argument up, or at least this point up. Um, if they could find someone with the energy of Luffy, like Inaki, who
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
sound anything like Japanese Luffy, like,
sure.
but that energy is the same. That those high highs, those serious tones, like he, he got in there. He was Luffy for a second there. Was
Really
was
was.
I
They
was I
found
fully
him
convinced the
RL.
entire time? No. But when he
No.
needed to be Luffy in those moments, he found it. So it's like I think we're it's a changing of the guard. I think we're just
Yeah.
getting closer and closer to, like, these reboots and remakes are showing, like, hey, yeah, these Seiyu, they did it for years, decades. It's, remarkable. They're unforgettable. But I mean, with everything else, just like, I think it's
You think
just,
just get new voice
yeah,
actors?
I think we're just reaching a point where it's
That would
like
probably be the way to go.
it's time to think about that, because, like you said, they're getting older. They're gonna be able to do it forever. You know?
Yeah. They've been doing it for fucking 20 plus years
Yeah,
now.
yeah. So it's like I think
So,
at some point we're gonna hit a spot where it's time to think about, the future. You know, it's a sad thought,
yeah.
but it's a needed one. Um, but I think that's just kind of like the nature of doing a remake, is like you have to consider: are we gonna bring back the gang, or do we build something new?
Yeah. That's a hard call. I think they'll probably use them again, very likely. But I would actually still, if they're gonna replace one, they just need to replace all.
Yeah,
I think I'm down with that
yeah,
idea. They just need to like hand the torch off to someone else. And I feel, Inaki, by the way, talking about just like remakes, whatever, he's doing a phenomenal job. I think he has even harder job of doing Luffy in live action than voice acting, because voice acting, you get so much practice, right? And these big budget Hollywood level freaking, just monsters of productions, he doesn't have that longevity and that long to get Luffy right. He just is. His
Yeah.
personality is just is. I mean, so follow him on IG, listen to me, Instagram and other socials and stuff. The dude's just Luffy,
Yeah.
He's just Luffy. Like, he's living life to the fullest and just happy go lucky persona. And I hope he does hope he keeps that level of hopefully he doesn't get disenchanted by the internet, because he's doing a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
I think they all are. So
Yeah. I would love to see them make it, past the Grand Line to the New World, in my opinion. I'd love to see that opportunity happen. But don't
oh,
want to get ahead of myself. They haven't even announced any of the core casts for season 2.
yeah,
Um
the big ones, yeah.
oh, we're still waiting for those heavy hitters.
Chopper.
Who's it gonna be? What are they gonna do?
Yeah,
That's the I think that is gonna be the big announcement, I think, at the end of the year.
well,
But hey, that's just, remakes in their, you know, essence. It's like we're waiting. What's gonna be different? Um what's gonna be exciting about it, right? What's gonna be the draw to get us back in? But I'm really, really excited. These next couple of years are gonna be wild. These next couple of years are gonna
completely
be
wild.
wild.
Anime's taken off mainstream.
Yeah,
All these streaming services are getting, like you said, a slice of the pie. They
yeah.
want a piece of that anime fandom merch consuming group of
Consume,
individuals. I
consume,
mean, we
consume,
don't, we
consume.
don't. Clearly, you don't collect any merch.
Yeah, no,
Um, Not at
I
all.
don't do that at
But
all. I'm not really into consumer products.
no, 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 no. Me either.
I
I
don't
don't
like
collect
buying things
anything.
at all.
For your listeners out there, we got both anime t-shirts on, and he's got a desk full of anime figures. So there's your
No,
reference. But
there's a D&D podcast
oh,
book right
okay.
here, actually, sir.
Okay, my bad. You branch out. You're just not a straight weeb. Got it. All right, guys, that was a great ep. Appreciate you for listening. Let me hear your thoughts. What would you like to see remade, or not remade, or not touched? Oh, I will say this: they don't need to touch Cowboy Bebop
Don't do it again.
ever again.
Don't do it again.
Never,
Unless you're
never
gonna
do it
fix your
again.
mistake. Hold
Never.
on, addendum. Unless
Mm.
you're gonna fix your mistake, don't do it. Don't do it. Do not do it.
So leave a comment, give us a like, follow us on all our socials, and we'll see you in the next pod, guys. It's been a blast talking about these anime remakes, reboots, live actions, whatever you want to call them, reimaginings. And with that, it's time to say goodbye, D.
Aw. Well, it's not something I can redo anyway. So bye.
That's true. Bye. Maybe in post.
Dang. Okay, well, I guess I'm just by myself.